Hi, my name is Taylor Martinez, and I'm just here to um, review over my digital booklet titled The Influence of Environmental Factors on Learners for TEL 340. This was data that I took within Metcalf Elementary School. Here's my table of contents. Inside our classroom, the microsystem. So I am a teacher of record. I teach second grade here at Metcalf Elementary School. And so here's a little bit of our microsystem. Within my microsystem, I really like to focus on peer collaboration. When you walk into our class, you will always see students working together either in pairs or in groups. Sometimes we do it randomly, sometimes we do it with table groups. I believe that peer collaboration helps students feel more comfortable when they are working within the classroom. We kind of create a sense of family here in our class, and peer collaboration really highlights the fact that students are comfortable to work with anyone in the classroom. Within my classroom, I include cultural inclusivity. You can see here is a bulletin board that I made for Hispanic Heritage Month. I also enjoy reading culturally inclusive books. One of my favorites is The Name Jar, about a Korean girl who moves to the United States and has to find her name. But also Last Stop on Market Street and I Am Human. It's really important for me. To make sure that my students feel seen within my classroom, which is why I emphasize being culturally relevant and highlighting the different diverse cultures within my classroom and in the world. I also focus on positive reinforcement. How I do that is mostly by doing intrinsic motivation, giving my students inner fuel. I like to give shout outs when I see students doing something that I like seeing, whether it's standing in line or helping a friend. Being able to give that kind of motivation or validation really helps my students want to do it again. And it helps my students who didn't receive a shout out want to work towards it as well. Another way that I do positive reinforcement is by having STEM and Art Fridays. Um, and this is just a little way for like a reward system for my students to have a fun outlet to express what they are feeling. So to answer the essential question, I'm really focusing on peer collaboration, but also collaboration between school and home, which I believe plays a large role in my students' behavior and development. And when students feel welcome and seen, and their families feel welcome and seen within the classroom, that student is more likely to perform, and it fosters a supportive learning environment. Inside our school, the meso system. So I work at Metcalf Elementary School, like I said, and here's a little sneak peek inside our happy place. So here is Metcalf Elementary School. We are located in southeastern Arizona in the small mining community of Morenci. Um, our big a motto, I guess I would say, is that we want students bursting the doors to get into school rather than trying to burst the doors to run out. That's just because we want to create a positive learning environment with engaging lessons and hands-on experiences where students want to come to school rather than them dread it and hate being here all day and want to bust the doors to leave out. Here are some demographics on Metcalf Elementary School. We are a K through 4 um, grade levels school. We have around 770 students, and majority of our students are Hispanic or Latino. We also have 25% white, 5% American Indian, 2.5% two or more races, 0.8% Black, and 0.7% Asian. Um, our economically disadvantaged students are at 37%, which is relatively low compared to other schools within the area. Student services. So Metcalf offers several student services. We have our gifted program, which is eligible for students who qualify in the 97th percentile on the COGAC test. This is usually taken in second grade, but it can also be taken upon request. And students who qualify will receive supplemental opportunities in the afternoon. They have their own block where they go to the library and do different STEM activities that kind of replace the regular curriculum. We also have Title I, which is a funded grant program, and our Title I really focuses on improving literacy within students that struggle. This year, we created an after-school extracurricular clubs act program. So we have board games, we have puzzles, we have cursive writing and dance, team roping, art class, and we also have a student council. Staff collaboration. So once a month, all staff meets after school for a 5C meeting. These 5Cs are cats communicate, collaborate, create, and are critical thinkers. So within our 5C meeting, it's usually the staff, mainly just educators, teachers, some support staff come and we discuss important topics, upcoming events, data, resources, and curriculum. And this is just an opportunity for us to meet as a whole team rather than just a grade level team. That way we can ensure that fourth grade is on the same level as first grade and all of our students' needs are being met effectively, and that we're all on the same page because we're all working together. And this is a photo from our Rock Your School Day last year. So last year, our theme for our school was 90s Day. So we took a day called Rock Your School where we create out-of-the-box experiences for our students. And this just creates a love for learning. And our essential question. So at Metcalf, we really do, like I said, have a passion for creating out-of-the-box experiences for our students. And when students enjoy what they are doing, they are going to buy in and be passionate about that. And so we have several opportunities for our students to shine here at Metcalf. And by utilizing these student services, students have a higher chance to succeed and they have fun in the process. Inside our community, the macro system and exosystem. So, like I said, I am from the small community of Morenci, Arizona. This is Longfellow School, which was founded in 1902. This was Morenci's first school. It is no longer standing because Old Morenci, as we call it, was torn down by the mine, and it is now a large open pit. And so we moved to a different plant site. Morenci is a company town owned by Freeport-McMoRan that was founded in 1872 by the Detroit Copper Mining Company. We are home of the largest copper mining operation in North America. Our town has a population of 2,000 people, so we are a small town, and there are surrounding communities, Clifton and Duncan. Clifton does not have a school, so students that live in Clifton have the option to go to school in Morenci, or they can drive to Duncan, where Duncan has its own public school as well. Community demographics. So, majority of Morenci is Hispanic, 45% Hispanic. We are 43% white, 5.3% Native American, 2.5% multiracial, 2.1% Asian, and 1.9% Black. We are 65% male here at Morenci, and that is due to the mining company. Most of the employees for Freeport-McMoRan are male because it is a male-dominated field, but there's also 35% female that live and work and enjoy being here. The median household income is $79,800, and the average family has about 2.2 persons per household. And this is just a visual of the open pit. Yeah, so you can see it's a pretty sight to see. Community services. So this is our community center here. You can see back in the back, this is company housing where Freeport employees, teachers, I know some health workers and um, law enforcement also get to reside in these housing developments. So the Morenci Community Center offers several different rec programs for residents of all ages. Each month or each every few months, the Town and Rec Department releases an activity guide that contains events and activities for that season. So they have everything from art classes and gymnastics to adult soccer leagues and trivia and volleyball tournaments. There's literally something for everyone within this community. And the reason why Morenci Town decided to do this is because it helps build a stronger sense of community. It gets our community members socializing and working with each other. So I added the link here if you wanted to take a click and see. It's really interesting to see all that we have to offer for being such a small town. And then the essential question. We are known for being a tight-knit, family-friendly community. Like I said, we are an unincorporated town. That means that we are owned by the mine. We were never really founded. Majority of our families live in company housing, and we're well above poverty. And this has a positive impact on learning and development because Guy Evans states that children from lower socioeconomic status backgrounds may face more challenges than those with higher socioeconomic backgrounds. Lower socioeconomic status backgrounds may face more challenges, while the higher has more advantages. So I think that it's important to highlight how much the rec department provides because with these resources, students learn to work as a team and to be social and to have an outlet for something outside of school that they enjoy doing. And it leads to student and school success within the school and the community. Analysis of context. So in our meso system, one major connection that I noticed between all three concepts is the focus of peer collaboration and creating a sense of belonging. And I believe that because it's such a big value for our community, it kind of trickles down from our community into our school and then ultimately into our classroom. And these connections and relationships create a more positive learning environment where students are comfortable and where parents are truly involved. Parent volunteers are seen throughout our community at art classes. We have art teacher parents. We have soccer coach parents. We have parents who, take their kids to the pool. Parents are seen everywhere within our community, and then they also come and volunteer within the classroom. So students really feel comfortable and safe because they see these adults throughout the town and then within the school. It also is important to note that educators are seen outside the classroom. Because we're a small community, we only have one grocery store, we only have one movie theater. Chances are is that we are going to see our students outside the classroom at least once a week. And I think that's okay because it's important for students to see that my teacher is a real person with a real life outside of school, and they go to the grocery store and they're buying the things that I buy. They're buying chips and salsa. My teacher loves chips and salsa, and I love chips and salsa. We just became besties, and it just creates a positive relationship between us, and we're able to make those connections. Another great thing that I would like to highlight within our meso system is the collaboration between Freeport McMoran, which is the copper mining company that owns Morenci, and our school. So last week was Biodiversity Week, and Freeport provided an assembly. They had several different activities for our school to do. They had environmentalists come and explain different things. They had people who specialized in bats and people who specialized in bighorn sheep and ram and local botanicals. They came last week, and our students had got to have those out of the box learning experiences provided by Freeport. The chrono system. So in 2024, our community suffered a devastating loss of a third grade student. And during this difficult time, our community came together to provide support for this family. But not only providing support for their family, but our school also provided support to parents who might have struggled trying to explain the death of a child to their own children. And our educators and school staff provided a safe space for students to talk about their feelings of losing a friend. And with the help of this child's parents, his memory is able to live on at Metcalf. And so for the past 2 years, the third grade teachers always pick a recipient to receive the Forever 8 Character Award. This recognition is to show, to highlight kindness and outstanding character traits in honor of the child who lost his life. This shows an example of the chrono system because it shows that we are able to adapt to tragic and unpredictable events. And so I felt like this was a good spot to fit this in here because it shows that children are resilient and we can take these tragic events and move forward or add see the good in such tragedy, I guess. And so students see this good, receive an award, are able to honor this child, remember him as a friend, as a teammate, and still be able to celebrate him and his life, even though he's no longer with us. My holistic interaction review. So the supportive factors for students that I felt were important was that the microsystem has the most direct impact on students. And that's just because it is things that they deal with on the daily. It is where that they are for majority of their day. And when students feel supported within their microsystem, they are more likely to perform. Hopefully they're very comfortable in their microsystem, and that just helps create a positive learning environment. The mesosystem is the connection between the different microsystems in a child's life, and this builds community and teamwork. The macro system connects students because they have similar interests and beliefs. So one thing that I really like about our macro system is that we have students who play soccer together out in the community or go to gymnastics together or saw each other at bingo. And then they can come home, come back to school, and they have these common interests, and it just brings them closer together, and they work better together because of it. And then the chrono system relates to environmental changes over a child's lifetime. And like I said, it supports adversity and development. Implications across all domains. So, how are these implications impacting student growth and development? Positive impacts, I noticed, was the focus of family inclusivity and collaboration and the team building within Metcalf Elementary, and it helps students feel seen, supported, and safe. And this creates a motivation for students to support to perform. This makes school a fun and engaging place for all. And the need for improvement that I found was that we do have a lot of EL students because we are primarily Hispanic. And I believe that Metcalf Elementary needs more support for our non-English speaking students and their families. And I think this is because it'll fill the gap between home and school and create more engagement and collaboration from these families. And then my essential question. Um, Sorry, I lost my train of thought. When interaction between a student and home's life and school life and community are positive, it shines through the child and they're more likely to succeed. At the end of the day, we just want our children to feel seen and heard and loved and appreciated. And so by interacting positively through these systems, I believe that that will deeply impact our students in a positive way. Forward thinking and reflection. So my key my for my professional goals, my key findings were that effective communication and collaboration are essential and can foster a supportive learning environment. But this also includes communication between the school, and when families feel communicated with, they're more likely to participate in school functions and offer more support to the school. And then my goals as a or as a professional is to focus on cultural inclusivity through engaging in meaningful lessons, attending professional development so that I can have strategies to best serve my diverse group of students. I'd like to initiate the creation of a bilingual newsletter for our Spanish speaking families within our school, collaborate with admin to create learning experiences that reach all learners to help foster a sense of community within our classroom. And I would also like to work with the community center to give parents the opportunity to see all of the great resources that we have available within our town. My core values as an educator are being a lifelong learner, creating a sense of safety and security, having an everyone wins attitude, and an emphasis on collaboration. Being a lifelong learner is important to me because I can always learn new strategies in order to adapt to my students. I think it's important for students to feel safe in school, and that's just something that I will always be willing to bring to the table. Having an everyone wins attitude will help me effectively collaborate with my colleagues so that we can brainstorm ideas and effectively improve our school and community. Here's a photo of us in our class. These are my second graders this year. We had Fiesta Day, and so we made luchador masks, and they thought it was the coolest thing ever. Actionable strategies for influence. So moving forward in my career as an educator, I plan to increase the educational equity needed for each student to reach their full potential, develop a welcoming and engaging and inclusive environment for all students and their families, create a positive relationship with all families by sending encouraging informations and updates about our classroom. And then using multilingual resources to ensure effective communication between home and school. Last year, I had a student who came from a bilingual home, and I didn't really utilize multilingual resources. And I noticed that her parents weren't as involved. And moving forward, I know that I made a mistake, and I am going to make a difference and provide the support for students and their families. And that is all. Thanks.